So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the programs. It's of course not comprehensive, but also to give you the idea, our thinking behind this. This is one e-Government master plan that we couldn't wait for it to launch to start work. We started work 2 years ago. So there are 2 master plans in parallel actually. So our poor staff has to have 2 jobs, 1 pay. Because it's moving so fast. Data, you have heard the previous speakers, government putting data. Follow the example of Apple platform. Get people to come in, provide application. You know the previous head of civil service, he told me, he said, you know, data is a strategic infrastructure. Because if you provide the right data, you actually spur economic development. Businessmen, when they have data, they can reduce risk, they will invest. Businessmen, when they have data and they can build new capability, they will invest. So I think he's right. It's an important topic. And so today we launched a data store. We have 5,000 data sets contributed by more than 50 government agencies in various formats, most important in machine-readable formats. But I think the success is not in the numbers. The success should be measured by the usefulness, as in the 3 principles. That's why when we set KPIs, we should not set KPI based on output, but KPI based on outcome. So one of the things that we did was, I think almost 2 years ago, we have a call for collaboration, where we invite companies to come and come from the angle of application, useful application. If this is a useful application, what data do you need? And if there's data that's not provided and is not confidential or sensitive, then we go to government agencies and ask for it to be released. And it's been successful. There are wonderful applications that came up, applications that help businessmen cite their location by looking at the demographics and the number of competitors and so on. There are one that help you to travel real-time, congestion, car parks, and so on and so forth, location, commerce. So this approach is now being adopted as we expand our data sets. We also cast the net wide to have things like competition. So even students can participate. And these are just some of the winners that came out of it. Show nearby, wherever you are, all the interesting things that attracts you, they'll be shown on the smartphone. Parks as SG, all the things you want to know about the park. And you also incorporate what I call augmented reality. I thought that is quite a life-saving feature, especially when you want to go to toilet urgently, you know. Just point, where is the toilet? 300 meters, run for it. It'll be better if they can say how many cubicles are free. It's another life-saving features. Or be a minister, you want to solve an orchard flood program, yeah, play this game. And one of the connected programs actually that is tightly coupled is actually in the mobile space. Boy, mobile is exploding. You heard the minister said 144% penetration rate. 80 to 90% of all new phones are smartphones. So in the mobile space, we have over 300 mobile applications. Some of these are SMS, which are very useful, like getting exam results instead of everybody logging in. We just send SMS. Some are browser-based, but increasingly, a lot are rich applications. And so we have a lot of new application. But one of the feedback we get is that people find it difficult to locate government mobile apps. So we created the government mobile portal, eGov and SG, where it's a one-stop shop. It is also device aware. So if you are using BlackBerry, you only see BlackBerry. Of course, you have browser, you see a lot more. But it's a one-stop shop, and this will be helpful for everyone who wants to access government applications. One inbox. I'll be the first one to sign up for this. I explain to you. You know, many times like now, because I have to speak, they give me a complimentary car park pass. So I will have to take out my cash card, use a complimentary pass, and yes, I don't have to pay parking fees. But then under ERP, and I'll hear eerie sound. Ding. That's $12 deficit. But I'm so busy, I travel, I work, you know, government work me very hard. So the next thing I know is a red letter, angry red letter. $70. If you have one inbox, just put it there and I will know. You know, we all have email. I don't think this is to duplicate email. But email, you have hundreds of emails, spams, and all kinds of things. Important mails can get lost. I think there is a place for important mails. Mails that you need to action. Mails that you need to refer to as reference. So subsequently, apart from government, we want to bring in banks, maybe insurance, and many other important organizations. And this will be a repository that at least where you're traveling, you're busy, you know it's there. Maybe for a small fee, we can even put SMS, alert you. I'd rather pay 10 cents than fine $70. If you can put an email, you can put documents. Okay, this is exploratory. I think we are still consulting agencies. We are still consulting with private sectors, also consulting with citizens. I think repository will be a game changer. If you put medical health record, it may save your life if you're overseas and you're hospitalized. Or even a simple identity. Today, I don't know, you have to photostat your IC left and back and front, right? And I've seen newspaper report, you end up buying a car, you know, which is not you, but using that. So it's open to abuse. I think there are better, safer way, you know, part of the value, better, safer way to have a repository where you can send data to your telecom or to banks, maybe expire in 24 hours. No one can copy, no one can print. Makes a lot of sense. So it's something I think we are working on. Cloud. You have heard cloud. That's the number one in Gartner's radar right now, cloud. Singapore has always been, actually we are in the cloud since year 2000. We have been, 1,600 e-services. They are built using platform as a service rapidly. There are a dozen software, there's software as a service that agencies come together. Millions of transactions were built on a utility basis. But we do not have infrastructure as a service. So the cloud that we are talking about is really at infrastructure. It's a compelling value proposition. Because with the cloud, you can provision more memory, more CPU in 10 minutes. If you buy, it is 4 weeks. What an improvement in productivity. So it can scale very fast. Certainly useful for many of the applications. If H1N1 breaks out, Ministry of Health, the traffic volume grew 500%. Good cloud application, we can scale up. A lot of value proposition. If we can increase the utilization of computers from 30-40% to 80% using cloud, that's millions of dollars, millions. Certainly, very useful. Of course, we need to know the ground because we need to make sure it's secure. Make sure it's resilient. So, what we are planning to do is to really stretch the dollar, make sure the fundamentals are in place, maybe even work with public cloud providers to use technology to carve it up, a private cloud section. This one-stop licensing system has been phenomenally useful to businesses. Just one application, regardless of how many agencies, to apply for our license. But it's time to even improve on that, bring more agencies, bring more value, maybe even integrate some of the compliance side as well. So this is work in progress. I think the benefits is going to be a lot more when it's finished. Collaboration, we need to collaborate within as well. If you want to collaborate with the public who is used to social media and all the extremely useful tools, then you have to start within. So there's going to be a lot of work done to have a whole of government collaboration to make sure we ourselves are collaborating inside. Business analytics, you have seen speaker talking about the importance of business analytics. Here, because of the mushrooming of data and all that, I think all the agencies are beginning to realize that. But what we found is a lot of training is required because it requires new skill set. TV government, broadband penetration is 80%. There's still that 10+% that we have not reached. Maybe this is the channel to do it. We've been to South Korea. I think South Korea, one of the districts has gone quite in-depth into TV government. So we learned quite a few things from Korea. And one of the things is that the content could be quite expensive if you have to do a conversion. And also the media itself could be quite expensive. But in Singapore, we have this next generation broadband, 1 gig to every home. That will bring down the cost. And also with the ITV, interactive TV technology that's changing, perhaps if we can bring the cost down, that could be a very useful project to look into. Who knows, with a H1N1 outbreak, students can still stay at home and still do their work through the TV. Or it could reach a certain area of population that don't use computers. And of course, finally, we cannot leave anyone behind. So whether it's a disabled, their children, elderly, the poor, we have to ensure to bring everyone on board. You know, I went to what we call one of the future schools. I was looking at primary school students, and they were doing a composition. There was a video conference with someone who is doing the Sahara Marathon, you know. And as he was talking, all the class were using their tablet to key in the notes. And the notes is not text, it's actually mind map. So I was so amazed because as he's talking and they were just building mind maps. And I asked one of the students, is it faster for you to just draw and write? You know what she told me? She said, that is very slow, it's faster to type. We only write because we have to practice for some papers in examination that it's not on computers. So today, any child, without computer, without internet, I think the chances of making it is very, very difficult. So it's a social issue. We want to have 100%. Every child, regardless of wealth, status, must have a PC or must have access to PC with internet. Okay, I think my time is up. They've been chasing me already. So what I'm going to say is this. I think the world is really changing very fast, and there's a lot of things we don't know. You know, friends, this is the time, more than ever, we need to work with each other. Government, within ourselves, need to collaborate. Government needs to work with private sector. We need to collaborate with citizens. And we need to collaborate with other countries. This is the new world today.